Welcome to Femme Flex Friday. Today we are going to dive into the complexities of modern day romance.
Ooh.
In today's world, online dating apps have become a ubiquitous part of our lives. While they have made it easier to connect with people, they have also presented us with new challenges that can make dating feel overwhelming and frustrating. From fake profiles to privacy concerns, we will be discussing the various issues and exploring possible solutions. So buckle up as we navigate the virtual world of online dating together. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to Olympia TV so that you never miss any of our episodes. And don't forget to like, comment, and share this video.
Yeah.
All right. So guys, let's get into, I'm going to have Nico play a short video on the popular online dating apps for 22, and then we're going to go right into what's supposedly popular in 23.
Right. Okay.
Want to know the top 5 dating apps to be on in 2022? Well, that would be number 1, Hinge, top performer across the board, really no matter where you live. Second would be Bumble, a lot of hotties, but they don't like to start conversation that much. So you got to get real strategic about what you put on your profile. And if you need help with that, that's exactly what I specialize in. Hit me up in my link in my bio. 3, I would recommend is Tinder, believe it or not. Now, it could be a hookup app if you set up your profile so it looks like all you want to do is hook up. But I know so many people who've gotten married from that app. It's crazy, and they have a ton of users, so it's worth being on it. Another one I recommend is Facebook Dating if you're in a major city, and Coffee Meets Bagel. Love Coffee Meets Bagel. Super cute company owned by some people in San Francisco. Love them. Those are my top 5 recs. If this was helpful, make sure to follow the channel for more dating tips.
Let's go to the next one.
Best dating apps. 1. Field gives you over 20 options for sexual and gender identities to match with.
Whoa.
2. Happen lets you set up dates with people you've already crossed paths with. 3. Once shows you a profile of a compatible match each day at noon.
I've never heard of any of these.
4. Hinge's algorithm finds the most compatible person for you to meet.
And Bumble.
5. Don't want to waste time messaging? Badoo lets you video call your matches.
All right, Whitney, you had a lot to say about that. So let's hear it.
She's like,
you're familiar with some of these apps.
Done that one. In full disclosure, I've been on dating app, and that is a world that, oh my gosh. It's kind of interesting, but brace yourselves. Talk about buckling up. But I haven't heard of some of those.
Okay.
I haven't either.
The Tinder thing, though, I think some of these apps, it may depend on your location, honestly, because Tinder here in Arizona is 100% hookup app.
Oh, really?
No, it is everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and that's why she said that. I'm like, no, I think if you're just wanting kind of in out,
because it's about a hookup.
Yeah. No relationship.
I don't know. Has this not crossed anyone's mind before?
What?
Seriously, like, how could this not have crossed anyone's mind, okay? What is your definition of a successful dating app? I mean, if you're not finding the person you're going to marry, what are your goals, right? Is your goal to date a bunch of people? Well, then it's a successful app.
Yeah.
Is your goal to find a mate that you can spend the rest of your life with? Well, if you're getting like 20 matches per, every day at noon, and you have all these different options, that doesn't sound successful to me. So I don't know. I guess it really depends on what your idea of success is. Yeah. What are your goals? What are you trying to get out of it?
And that's where I think the apps are different. Like if it is a hookup app, then you're probably going to have great success. If you're truly looking for a relationship, there are different apps that kind of gravitate.
But isn't it more about how you portray yourself and your interests? Like if you're gonna have like a picture of like boobs out here, my eyes are up here, versus like a picture of like just kind of like you doing something else and like in your interests,
Okay, really funny story. My mom and dad, they just celebrated their 46th wedding anniversary.
Aww.
They're like an ideal I mean, they're like role model relationship. I love my parents. I love their relationship and everything. My mom, she does those like Words with Friends. She does this app called Words with Friends, and she's supposed to put like a little picture. It's a faraway photo of her running. And she has like a hat and like a baggy shirt and like baggy pants, and you can barely see her. And she gets guys like hitting her up all the time.
Really?
And we laugh about it. She's like, really? Like, what is it about this photo? So you'd be surprised. Like, you might want to portray yourself one way, but that could be just what turns it.
Well, maybe they see someone who's like athletic and fitness, and they're like, okay, she's healthy. Like she likes to do active things.
So
That's funny.
what, like with Tinder, like what is it? What's going on there where it's clear that it's about a hookup? Because I've heard this several times about it.
I think it was initially kind of established for that. You can see who's in your proximity, like who's close by.
Oh,
so like if you're out at a bar and you're like, it's getting late. Who's around?
Okay,
with
and
someone.
then really,
And I was never on Tinder, but I've seen friends, and we just swipe. I mean, it was hilarious swiping on your friends. You can do it.
I might
Set them up.
Oh, I've done that.
They get all these random
Do you have to have a
matches.
profile to go and look at people's profiles?
Yes. So that's where
that's what I was
never
like.
on
Yeah,
mine.
for my thing too. I was like, okay, wait a minute. Like at first, at the beginning, I'm like, I know what a profile is, but wait a minute, I have to log in, put my
I should've
information
sent you
in.
mine.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, but what I did do is I used artificial intelligence.
Ooh.
I used Chat GPT.
Okay.
And asked what's a profile? Like, what does it look like? What type of questions are asked? And it gave me a set of questions, right?
Okay.
And then I looked and I thought, these are just like, a lot of people could hide a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know, behind that.
Wait, have you guys ever been? Or have you ever been on a dating app?
I did it for like
never.
I did it for 2 weeks a long time ago. Before I met Chris, and I was, it was overwhelming. Like I was overwhelmed, and I also made I didn't understand. I got confused at first, and I was swiping left. So I had a lot of really bad matches.
So when you swipe left, what does that mean? Like,
No, it's a decline. It's like
it's a decline.
no.
You're like declining all these guys.
What I was trying to, I thought what I was supposed to be doing, I was trying to decline them, but I was actually approving them.
Got it.
So I was swiping right when I was trying to swipe left.
She was doing the opposite.
I was doing the opposite, so I had a lot of
people that you didn't want.
a lot of horrible matches, and they were just like, "Oh my god!" And then I was talking to a couple of them, and it was like really overwhelming. Like I was like, it was like
I have a job. I can't do this all day.
I got confused on who I was talking to, and there's just a lot of texting. I was just like, I felt like I was like kind of in these like relationships, but I was like talking to them, and I was just like, I got so overwhelmed by it that I actually I stopped, and then I met Chris, and it was,
that was it.
Thank goodness.
The rest
That
was
was it.
history.
yes. So do you feel like that it appropriately like places you, like based on the questions that's asked in the profile? Do you feel like you're put in, like, for example, if it's about exercise, do you match up with people that exercise or like exercise? How does that?
You can get as detailed as you want.
Oh, really?
So, like, if you're really specific with what you want or what you don't want, I mean, you can be like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like how important is it that that this partner smokes? Like you can set priorities. How important is fitness? So you can kind of lay out there, like, this is who I am. Even simple things like religion, politics. If you have strong feelings in one of those and you need your spouse, significant other, or hookup partner to kind of check these boxes, you can set it up. Now, if you're very generic, you're going to probably get mixed in with a bunch of wacky connections. But I tried to be specific. I'm naturally a jackass, so I'm like, you got to have humor.
So it asks questions.
Are you a jackass? Yes, that's an important box for me.
So it actually asks questions, and you can skip some,
and you can you choose your prompts. Like, so it kind of shows that type of personality. So like scrolling, if you're like, this person is like yeah, I'm tall, dark hair. You're like, wow, you're boring. You have nothing to say.
The problem with the Tinder and the ones that you're just swiping off of just a picture, like you're just literally looking at pictures to get through that first.
Okay, I see.
It's just like, and I think that's where you're like that. You don't really get into depth, and so I think that's where a lot of people kind of find themselves in this perpetual like dating app world because they're just like in this like rabbit like.
There was a comedian who it was the funniest joke. He was talking about how he has a profile set up, and I guess he's 5'7", and he's like 51 years old, and he was talking about how everyone that makes a profile, they exaggerate whatever.
Yes.
So like men will add inches to their height to make themselves more attractive. And when he put himself out there, like he said that it was the worst ever because the women were assuming that because he put 5'7", that means he's really like 5'1".
Totally,
and like he says he's 51, so he's probably like 75 or something like.
Which that's really bizarre to me that someone would tell a lie about something that's going to be so obvious.
Well,
hello,
Whitney,
the guy with the one arm that I went on a date with.
Yeah, that's
It
crazy.
You feel like you are like the jackass,
So-
even though you admit that you are.
You said he photoshopped an arm.
Photoshopped his arm. I'm like, I'm gonna meet you, and I went to shake your hand, and there was nothing there, and now I'm
and there's nothing wrong
Dumbo.
with that. It was just
Yes.
it was lying about it.
I'm like, had I
total
known,
lie.
I wouldn't try to shake your hand. Like I felt like
it was
an
awkward
idiot.
from Jump Street.
What do you guys think about this? Okay, I am the grandma of this group because I have literally never been on a dating app. But I did meet Matt on MySpace, and I told you guys the story.
Oh, yes,
about
yeah.
on MySpace. Okay, so at the time, like that was cool because you can kind of get to know the person. I guess I've never experienced any of these dating apps, but I will say that if I were in the market, I would want to see more about how they live their life. Like I wouldn't want to see a profile they create based off of like a list of questions.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I
agree.
agree.
I would probably go looking, around and bruising.
So oftentimes their social media links will be linked, and actually for like Tinder and some of those like the profile pictures that it captures is actually what you have on your Facebook. So you can kind of like do a little deep dive into like who is this person by going to their social media.
I would do that.
But
And you can see accurate well, I guess in a way, but like if they're doing stories, live things, you're like, okay, so this picture you posted clearly was 6 years ago or whatever. You're like, you don't look anything like that.
Well, and people will change their Facebook pictures to accommodate their dating apps.
Yeah.
But that Baidu one, I think it was Baidu.
Yeah.
That one was interesting.
Yeah,
That has
that was
video chat.
interesting.
And that's one thing. So the one time I was on like the dating apps for that brief period of time, the person I was kind of like just, we were just texting. And he FaceTimed me. And I was kind of caught off guard, but he was just like, he's like, I just wanted to see if you actually look like you did in the pictures. And I'm like, well, it's me.
Got to give a heads up. That happened to me once, and I was at home, pajamas, working, glasses on, and I was like, "This is a no. This is not going to work out. You can't surprise me like that."
It was pretty. I mean, that just shows that he's probably been in this world for a long time,
true.
and he's been like, he's just like he wants. Before we continue wasting hours of texting, like let's just see who we actually. It's like
questions.
And that's smart though.
Now, the questions, and when it comes to the questions that the dating profiles ask, a lot of times they'll ask like, what activities you like. I mean, that's a common question, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a family friend, she, was in her 60s, and she was creating a profile, and, my mom was helping her out, and she's not into fitness or any outdoors activities, and she listed out in her profile that she likes to go biking and she likes to do like hikes and
long walks by the beach.
At all.
Not her.
So that's the thing, is that like, I mean, I think people sometimes they like write what like the aspirational things that they would want to do. Hoping they want to find somebody who wants somebody that likes to go biking, because they feel like that's somebody somebody they would want.
Right,
But
right.
people have to realize if you don't enjoy biking and you match up with somebody who really enjoys biking, you're not going to enjoy that relationship.
You're gonna be with a triathlon out there.
Exactly.
I just like to ride my cruiser to the liquor store.
And that's where I said some of the questions I saw was like questionable. Like for me, I saw, well, when I asked ChatGPT, give me an interesting question.
Yeah.
And one of them, it said, if you could have a dinner party with any 5 people living or dead, who would they be? And I thought, okay, like to me,
fun.
that was a fun question.
It gives you a
because
glimpse.
how can you really
Well, here's 3 right here.
lie?
Yeah.
I mean,
Nico, Patricia.
how could you try to come up with something
Look at the 5 right here.
because you don't really know this person unless you go and you kind of do a little investigating.
Who would your
but
5 people be?
Yeah.
Who would my 5 people
We'd
be?
love to know.
To have,
You need
gosh,
during the break.
Muhammad Ali.
Oh, yeah.
Muhammad
Okay.
Ali. And it probably, I think it would be like Martin Luther King. I'd like to ask him some questions about like the other side of his life because everybody thinks he was like super perfect and he was like just a straight up guy, preacher.
Yeah.
So I have a few. Like, what about you guys?
Yeah.
I would probably pick all my grandparents and like
See, that's right.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, that's
I'd like The Rock. He just his entrepreneurial side, business side, athlete side, and he's funny. Jimmy Fallon, comedians.
Jack Black.
Yes.
Jack
Black. Yep.
Comedians scare the hell out of me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they're so like clever and so quick.
That's why they're the coolest people to hang out
that
with.
would be that would But I love him. I love Jack Black.
Yeah.
Lenda, I'm just picturing Lenda.
They would scare the hell out of me. They're so quick.
They're so good.
Do you guys know who Jordan Peterson is?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
He'd
gosh.
be good too.
He's an intense dude.
Yeah.
He is, but I would love to sit down and have like a deep
he's
conversation
intense.
with him, pick his brain, and just talk to him about everything.
See, that tells us a lot about you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't even know who Jordan Peterson is. That lets us know that you're into, you watch YouTube intelligent programming. That would tell me a lot about you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great
Then
question.
You would date me?
You would date.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. All right, guys. So we are going to take a break and then come back with some more interesting things that go on with online dating apps.
Woo.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
Okay, and we're back. And guys, don't forget, like, subscribe, follow us. So let's get on with the biggest roadblocks in online dating.
Dun, dun, dun.
I have a very interesting video. Lay it for us, Nico.
You can honestly deceive so many people on online dating apps. What's going on with her nose? If you're wondering if she's using Photoshop, just look at her
Everybody
hair.
looks like that now.
So imagine you're on Tinder
Everybody
and you
has the
swipe
same
right
face.
on this girl, but this who shows up on the date. I'm not saying she's ugly. I'm just saying it's a little bit misleading. Let me know if you agree in the comments.
So that's why you want to video somebody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's why you want a video versus a
You
photo.
and to your point, like I had another person do that, but they gave me a heads up. Obviously, it was like, hey, can I FaceTime you in 5-10 minutes? It was like, yeah. That way, I could at least not be in pajamas or something.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to go. Are you real or not?
Well, and for you, you could be dancing naked in your living room.
You've been to my house.
Oh my God.
You have FaceTime me.
You
No,
know,
I'm just kidding.
the thing that's unfortunate is that, like, you don't really get credit for being a real person anymore.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like if a lot of people are doing that, then you have to assume that everybody's doing it. And so if you are really, if you take care of yourself and you're really proud of how you look and you feel really confident, then it's like, and you want to post a photo, it's like in your heart that everybody probably just like assumes that you're just like faking yourself or photoshopping yourself. You can't really be real anymore. It's crazy.
But you can.
But you can.
I mean, you do. I mean, you have. I believe in being real, but it just kind of stinks. You don't really get credit.
This is like so crazy because it reminds me of like back in the day, like before the dating apps and all of this and social media. And like kind of being fake, like, so you meet a guy like the normal way, right? And there's some things that because I remember, I think at the time I wanted more boobs, right? So I think I like
in your man or on you?
Oh my gosh, the old school way of duping guys.
Oh,
She's telling us about the old school.
The old school way of duping guys. It just like came to me, and I kind of remember, like, you know, you like put some stuff your boobs, your bra with socks.
Yes.
Or you got a wig on, you got extensions, or, you know, just things that were like fake. And then you're like, when it came down, then like, okay, now we got to get down and dirty.
You're like,
it's
oh
like,
no.
They're not really mine.
I mean, you do make a good point. I mean, we have
That's hilarious.
We have to own that what used to be considered fake, we have adopted and we don't think about
now it's the norm. I mean, you go to like Victoria's Secrets and the bras are like that
we do.
thick.
Yes.
And it's like
You're
it's
right.
acceptable.
Yeah.
And it's acceptable.
Yeah.
You're right. But
we all do our.
did you guys see that the movie? It was like with the Wayne brothers back, and he went on this date with this chick, and she looked gorgeous, right? And then they got in the bedroom.
Is it white chick?
She popped. It's not white chick.
I think that's the
she
one I
popped
think.
out her contacts. Then she took off her wig, and she had a,
come off.
She took off her leg, and it was like, oh shit! It was like,
wow.
That's the old school equivalent of what's
yes.
going
Yeah.
on now.
full equivalent of photoshopping.
Wow.
But the people who are doing like in that video that you shared where everybody is like altering their faces
Yes.
and that's how their whole social media is.
Yeah.
It would really suck to wherever you like if that's how you portrayed yourself and then you met somebody in person and you kind of always knew that like I know
really,
you always want to be like it's nice to hear a compliment like wow, you're so much more beautiful in person.
Yes,
like you
totally.
would not
Agreed.
hear that because people are like there's
I'd rather them be surprised on the better side rather than be like, oh, geez, misrepresentation.
totally
On both sides. I'd rather show up and be like, wow, you look way better in person.
Yeah.
And have them think that as well.
yeah.
It's so funny. Yeah, I don't know. It's just so weird because I know. Yeah, like yesterday, a guy walked in, a pro. Haven't seen him in a very long time. I was in the office, and today I was like, okay, I'm not putting on any makeup. I wouldn't, I didn't have my eyebrows on. And then he came by, and I was like, oh, hello. And then I was like, oh my God, I don't have my eyebrows on. And I'm sure this guy sees me. He's like, he sees me like, on the Olympia stage. And I look fabulous. Everything is perfect.
Yeah.
He's like, what happened to
And I was
Lenda?
like, oh, no.
Let me put my teeth in really quick.
Linda,
I'm serious.
You know what? I think that it's important for us not to talk from like this higher pulpit because you're making some really good points. We all need to own that we do all do things to improve your look.
Yes.
I mean, we all we accentuate our hair, we accentuate our bodies. We do things that are now they've become accepted. So we we're all natural.
What are you talking about? My hair's all natural. Yeah, Wendy.
We do these things and we want to improve the way that we look, but we do at least look the same in person as we do on our photos. But I'm not saying I'm not shaming that I am honestly I actually feel sad if somebody feels they have to do that because it has to be uncomfortable.
It's got to feel horrible.
That has to be an uncomfortable
Well, like the
thing.
guy who photoshopped an arm, it's sad. Like he feels he has to misrepresent himself.
Yeah.
Which obviously is not going to work well for anyone that meets him. Just be who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people on apps, the dating apps, in wheelchairs. Like be who you are. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But why have to have that awkwardness early on and have someone like me show up and try to shake your hand when you don't have one?
Right.
Well, I guess it goes back to now this is now coming clearer. Like as far as that first dating app, the one where they said the variety of different genders. There's a new app, and was it?
Oh, yeah.
For the LGBT.
Yes, but it's, I mean, because I don't think it's cool, like if you misrepresent and you say that you're, let's say if you say you're a woman and you really got, you know.
So I have
some
a
other
story
stuff
on
going
that.
Like that's not.
And it actually is kind of common here in Arizona. If you live in Arizona, it's very common in Scottsdale. It's not very common, but it does happen a lot.
I want to know.
And one of my guy friends went on this date, and they had an amazing time.
Yeah.
Thinking it was a girl. Went back to his place afterwards, and obviously talk about kind of misrepresenting.
Found out
it was not a female. And so he's telling me this story the next day, and I thought, how did you not know? Pulls up the profile, and I'm like, she's beautiful. And he goes, she is, but it's not a she. And so again, there are dating apps out there that are, you know, if you go that way, cool. But that's absolute misrepresentation. He was mortified. He was just upset. And, you know, it's like...
And his feelings matter, too, because I know this is a really sensitive subject.
Yeah,
and
but it's common.
A lot of people are talking about this now, and I do understand, like, if somebody is, like, you know, has transitioned to a different gender, I know that their feelings, that must be, like, a traumatic experience. It must be a lot to, overcome. You have to go through a lot to get to that point, right? So I can imagine how you want to be perceived as, you know, a woman, or you want to be perceived as a man, and you want to live your life as such.
Right.
But the other person's feelings matter too, and I think that's where we want to make sure that, you know, there's that common ground where you know, it's not one person's feelings don't matter more than another's.
Totally.
That's not being honest.
So having a place where they can feel comfortable portraying who they truly are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe that's where also pronouns come into handy as well.
Absolutely.
So,
It's a very sensitive topic, very, very heated, sensitive topic.
Yeah, maybe we don't want to go down that.
I know, it's a hard one to go down. It's hard to get anything right on that path.
But the big picture is just be yourself.
And
be yourself.
A common ground that we can all find is that everyone's feelings matter, and no one person's feelings should matter more than another's. And I think we can all agree on that, right?
Yeah, it seems like it's like also with the app, and there's so many faces. Do you feel like you're overstimulated? Like I would think being on there with so many faces and so many people, and how do you narrow it down and kind of?
I think people get overwhelmed.
That's what happened to her. She got overwhelmed.
Well, I mean, you're just looking at looks, but I think also you can exhaust an app. Like you can exhaust an app, and it's kind of like you start seeing the same people over, and then you go to other apps, and you're like, oh, well, we're all they're all on multiple apps.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think people start to kind of exhaust their dating pool within these apps as well, and then there's perpetual like there's people that are such is back on Tinder,
right? Yeah. Well, and it's different too, because I think the bad side, one of the downsides of dating apps is people get too used to instant gratification. So it's like if you're chatting with 5-10 people, well, if you text this person because you have a break in your day and this girl or guy doesn't respond, you're like, oh, I'm going to go to the next. One of these people are going to pay attention. So then it becomes, you can't even ingrain yourself in a relationship or really getting to know someone because you're just focused on who's going to give me attention right now. And being on that side of it, that's what I personally didn't like. I'm like, I don't know if this guy's chatting up me and then 100 other people. I don't know, but that's what I didn't like. It's hard.
Which app is it that has, I thought there was a new one that doesn't actually show pictures.
Oh, really?
There's one that doesn't show pictures, I thought.
Really?
So it's like
Love
really
is Blind, like 2.0. Love is blind.
But it's literally just off of like, I don't know, I saw that somewhere.
I mean, it would kind of make sense really getting to know, but then I feel like you've got to have attraction and chemistry.
Yes.
I mean,
I think it was like a complete spin-off because everything else has been like looks first and then personality.
I know. I'm glad you said that because I feel like saying that I wouldn't be into an app like that makes me feel like I sound shallow, but you can tell a lot about a person when you take a look at them. Okay, let's look at this.
Yeah.
Let's, for example, okay, and I have mentioned this before, but if somebody clearly does not, like on the surface, you could tell they don't live the same lifestyle as you, it's not just about you not being into them. It's about them not enjoying that relationship too.
Yeah.
Like if somebody is not into health and fitness, that would be somebody who would not enjoy a relationship with you.
Absolutely.
You know? So it's not just a selfish thing. It's like a two-way street, right? I mean, you want to make sure.
If the guy has longer hair than me and he's going to spend more time in the bathroom, it's a no.
It's not going to work out.
I mean, sorry, buddy. You got to go.
Yeah.
My bathroom's not that big.
I've never been into like pretty boys. Like that, somebody that's really pretty, like just never been. No.
Like if they pluck their eyebrows and their eyebrows are more defined than yours.
Not working. No working.
A little grooming doesn't hurt. Like Matt has this eyebrow that just like grows into his eye, and he will let it grow. And sometimes I just have to stop and let me just pluck that for you, please. and
He probably has a name too.
Yeah. Good old Steve-O.
So we're having a lot of fun here.
It has nothing to do with dating apps.
And we're going to
Tangents.
take a break and come back and pick up on some more interesting conversation.
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, you know I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on Trifecta.
Okay, we're having a blast here talking about all of the dating apps. And I saw this interesting video. This guy made a very good point, and he said something about 3 reasons why dating apps don't work for men. Ooh. So let's play that.
3 reasons why dating apps don't work for most men in 2022. Starting off with number 1, it's terrible at showcasing your personality. And what I mean by that is if you compare it to Instagram, to where girls can see who you like, who you follow, you can send girls videos, voice messages, GIFs. There's a lot of tools in your toolbox to showcase your personality, not so much on dating apps. Number 2, the majority of people on dating apps are men. If the majority are men, that means women have the leverage, which means they can be a lot more pickier and have a lot higher standards than usual. You cannot compete with the amount of options, bro. And number 3, it makes men risk adverse, because why go out and put yourself out there when you could just swipe from the safety of your room on Tinder? It's low risk to medium reward, but what people don't realize is that a lot of the X's and O's women have before giving you the number or going on a date with you can be answered within 5 minutes of meeting them. You can be the Casanova of Tinder, but if it doesn't translate to real life, you're not getting laid, bro.
Which
You're
is
not getting laid, bro.
Yeah, most guys' ideal reason to be on an app, right?
Yeah.
This is a hot topic when it comes to dating apps, okay? Like, the most desirable guys that can get like any woman, you know, it's like the top 10% of guys. Like, they tend to be, there's just statistically, they tend to be the guys that are not as into committed relationships, because they can have any woman, so they are considered high value or whatever. And so then all of these women who, basically women have an easier time because they could get most men, but they only want the top 10% of men. So you have like 80% of women who want the top 10% of men, the top 10% of men who don't want committed relationships. And it's this it's like this cycle that is created in the dating app world, you know what I mean? And so it's really fascinating to me. That was
very fascinating. And it makes a lot of sense. What do you guys think about what he said in regards to...
Do the highest value men that you've found on dating apps, do they tend to be not into committed
Straight
relationship?
players. Yeah.
That's
Straight
what I've heard.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to Harmony.
Yeah.
Or Christian Mingle.
Yeah, there you go. Yes.
Really?
No.
Yeah, I think most men that go on there, they're in this dating world. And you know how much that, like, dating that much, it costs a lot.
Yeah.
Like they're going on the dates and all of that and the wine and
Wait,
dine.
but you would have them pay every time?
Well, no, I never actually went on a
Oh,
date.
you did? Oh, gotcha.
But I'm just saying, like the men I know who are on it, like they will talk about their monthly expenses, and like it gets really
okay.
up
If I
there.
was a guy, and I mean, I don't know. I think the world's changed. I'm like, look, we'll go on a date, but I don't expect you to pay because I don't want you to expect anything from me because that's down the road.
I'm the same way, but a lot of women are not like that.
That's
a lot of the
true,
women I think
but
that are also
for
on
guys.
they're always on Tinder. They're looking for. A lot of them just want to. A lot of them want to be wined and dined.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
kind of taken care of.
that's unfair. Like you're right. For guys, that is
unfair.
rough.
Yeah.
That could get expensive. Too.
Super
Yeah.
expensive.
Now, let me ask you guys this, okay? Do you guys know who Kevin Samuels is?
Oh yeah, the guy that passed away.
He did pass away.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
he blew up on YouTube because he would do these live interviews with women. And women tend to overestimate their value because they have a lot of options there. Women just naturally, we get, no matter what you look like, no matter where you are in your life, you will get a slew of guys in your inbox telling you how gorgeous you are, how they want to do all kinds of weird things to you. And it doesn't matter who you are. That's just being a woman. That's just kind of what happens. Men don't have that. Men don't have like girls throwing themselves, at them unless they want you to pay for it, right? That just is how we operate as a society. So like he would do these calls and like women would
they were
overestimate
the real
their
deal.
value, right?
Yes, because they would say something like, she'd show up and she was looking a certain way.
Yeah.
And she would say, I'm this and that, and I expect that. And he says, really, why? And he would just
he wants
check
a man.
her.
I love it.
Like
Like
he
he
wants a man
did.
who makes seven figures. She wants a man who makes
Yes.
7 figures, who's 30 years old,
Yes.
who will like do all these things, and he would ask them like pointed questions like,
Yes,
how many kids do you
straightforward.
want to have? I want to have 3 kids. How much money a year do you think you're going to have to make if you want to be at home taking care of the kids and your husband's out working? Oh, like $500,000 a year or something. So then he'd say, do you realize
They're
that's like
single forever.
1% of men is what you need? Okay. And then you see, well, what do you rank yourself? And then
Yes.
they would rank themselves like super high.
Say, I'm a 9. He said,
And
a
he'd
9,
say,
really?
you don't qualify for that. He'd be like, you don't qualify for that.
No way.
So my point in this story
Yes.
is, regardless of what you feel about that style and that approach, it's pretty harsh. These girls did call in themselves to
they
get the ranking themselves.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a woman and you're in a dating app, right, and you're looking at the top 10% of men and you're like, that's what I want, and you're not having luck, what are you guys' thoughts to be honest with yourself? Like, what do you bring to the table? Because I think a lot of times people don't think what they're bringing to the
Absolutely.
table.
What do you bring to the table?
And what do you qualify for?
I think we're kind of not to toot our own horn, but I think we're kind of an exception where we don't expect to be like. There's a lot of women, and I think also the younger generations have this expectation of like just wanting to be taken care of, and being kept, and they
can do that ourselves.
They just think it's like their job is just to look really pretty and to like create a nice, pretty home and to take care of the family and to. I don't know, just be like, it's weird. It's weird.
It's a double-edged sword, though.
But but I feel like us as I always like, it's like you need to be a strong, independent woman. You need to be able to support yourself no matter what happens. But there's a lot of women that are not like that.
But did you know? I think on the flip side, because for example, we're strong women.
This is what I was just about to say.
We make good money, and
it's
but I
double-edged
do
sword.
want to say, like, what I do expect is when I still believe in like kind of old school.
Yeah.
Like for the guy to pay for the meal the first time, or if you invite me or take me out, or it's just like some things
You
I
wanna
want.
feel taken care of.
Open the door. For
The
me.
manners is what
The manners.
I like the manners.
I think.
That's not exactly what I was going to say, but that's along the same lines. That's a double-edged sword, is because men tend to just by nature want to be caretakers, and women by nature want to be like nurturers, right?
Yeah.
So no matter how much we become like independent and strong, it's like we we do still like to feel like we're being taken care of, even though we don't want a man to like just basically pay for our lifestyle, right? But it is a double-edged sword, because I think sometimes that might turn a guy off to see like a strong, beautiful, independent woman who makes just as much, if not more than him. He may be turned off by that, or may feel insecure or intimidated by that. That's another thing.
Some of the people that I matched with and chatted with, and like early on, obviously never got as far as going on a date or anything, but that's exactly, I had some people be completely honest and say, look, I'm just, you're busy, and I just kind of want a companion that I can take care of, don't work. And I'm like, whoa, you got the wrong part. But they were honest about it. I said, well, that's the best thing, is that is complete opposite of my personality. And some other people said, well, you just, men
don't know what's good for them. No.
Some guys like strong women, powerful, that don't need a guy to take care of them, and others do want the opposite. They're like, I want you to kind of be with me and support me. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot.
I guess to me it's like having a relationship is like a team. You're both contributing.
Totally.
So like the women that would call into this man could be ranked, and they wanted to, I want a husband who's going to be making $500,000 a year, and I want to go on vacations, and I want this type of house, I want 3 kids, and to be kind of kept. It's like, well, okay, well, what are you going to contribute?
Right.
What are you going to contribute?
And the thing is, you got to know who you want. Like, what do you want out of it? I would never want to, like, not inside. I would never want to date a guy who would expect that from me. I'm like, look, this is who I am.
You know what we should? You know what would be really cool? To bring it back to the dating apps, is there should be an app. Maybe we can maybe we can
right now,
where it's designed for like athletes, or like
there are some. God, I don't remember but there's some that are. There was one that was advertising a ton, like 2 years ago on NPC News Online or something.
Really?
I don't know. There were some, but
it just fizzled away.
Yeah, I think I saw something like that.
Yeah.
But that we run into the same issue, because like you might want an athlete and go, where do I find athletes? Well, I'm going to go on the athlete profile, and you may not be you. So people are so funny like that. They think about what they
most
want.
athletes probably find their significant other or their relationships doing things that they actually are doing.
Yeah.
If they're a runner, or if they're a gym rat, like
there are though. It seems like there's a dating app for any niche, and if you're really specific on what you want, it's probably the best place to go. But, like Christian Mingles, and then they have ones that are like focus on like the religion, the politics. There was an Amish one or something like that. But don't they not use like technology or something like that? I don't know. But whatever your niche is.
Coffee meets bagel sounds like it'd be interesting.
Yeah, I saw that one on. I think that started on Shark Tank.
Oh yeah.
That sounds like something that someone my age would be into.
It sounds
doesn't sound like
I think they were actually on last night.
Coffee meets bagel. I didn't watch Shark Tank last night, but I'm pretty positive.
Yeah, I think it was on Shark Tank last night.
And they got a deal.
Hey.
Did they get a deal?
I don't. It was on the background. I was getting ready for American Greed.
Because I think it was something about.
Has a nice ring to it.
There was some you meet at a cafe, and there's cards or something.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I don't know if that works.
Well, you guys watching,
but they bought it.
Let us know if you've had any crazy experiences with your dating apps. We want to know.
Definitely.
Share.
We want to know.
Let us enjoy.
And what's your profile name? We're
Feet Lover 69.
You want a shout out? No.
There's some things I think that that I have in regards to to look out for.
Look out for.
Let's see, time.
We're going to be moms for a second.
Spend time on the app. So you need to be prepared to spend time on the app.
Yes.
You need to be open-minded. Be open to different types of people and experiences, and don't limit yourselves. Communication, huge and very important. Let's see. And, of course, matches. Look for people who share your interests and values, and be open to meeting new people. So there are a lot of things. Safety. Take necessary precautions to ensure your personal safety.
That gets creepy.
That's the number one thing for me.
Some track your location. Like, obviously with Tinder, that's the whole point of it. But there's others you can turn off, because it's like, I don't you got to be careful.
Yeah. And I think that starts with the purpose. Know your purpose, your reason.
Yes.
What are you, what are your expectations? What are you looking for?
Nice to meet you. I'm just going to put my can of mace right here. Continue with your conversation.
One tip I have is think about, like, obviously the four of us, for example. Okay, we all love fitness. Well, that would be pretty boring to just say, I'd like to work out.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to set up a profile, find some way that makes you stand out. Like, you can't just say you're into fitness. Get specific. Is it that you love boxing? Do you love, doing trapeze work?
The picture of you cracking the egg with your biceps.
Yes, or lack of cracking it.
And personality types too. Like if you're like, I love a sense of humor.
Totally.
So like that would be, so that, because you could have a lot of similar interests, but you're like, God, you are a dud.
Well, and they have those memes out there. How
like
many
to
of the
laugh.
guy profiles they show a fish? I don't care about fishing, but how many guy profiles they have themselves in a boat holding a fish? It doesn't. You got to think about standing out and being unique.
But
maybe it's his diet. Maybe he's a pescatarian.
Then he should put
So do you think then it would work as far as like going and just checking out a person's social media page?
Yes.
Because you can go and see
would
the people that they like.
Yeah.
You can learn
You
a
can
lot
learn
of
a lot.
information there.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if they've got fishes, like
not that fishing's bad, but I'm like, what is the deal with guys and their fish? I don't know.
Maybe it's out here.
Maybe.
I mean, it is kind of a turn on to think of a guy who goes out and hunts for his food.
I don't know if it's.
I don't know.
It's probably fake fish. I don't know. They photoshopped that.
And, I don't know. It seems kind of like you got a man who like fishes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some
Fishing.
more. There's more like to read into that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you see a picture can speak 1,000 words.
Yeah. Just
You
stand out, be unique.
You imagine this.
Be creative.
Somebody who really gets after it.
Yeah. Well, this has been super awesome, guys, and learned a lot in regards to dating apps. So, good luck. Good luck.
Yes.
Good luck. Be careful. Be safe.
We wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, and continue to follow us, like, subscribe, and we will see you on our next episode.